Alright, the recording started.
Alright. So, first off, to start off the debate, I'll be moderating.
Alright.
Ready to start off the debate. Alright. Each candidate can only talk when it is their turn, and they will have a predefined amount of time to speak. Alright, I will cut them off, by the way, if they go.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
Alright.
sounds good.
So, to start off, each candidate will have 3 minutes to say what their platform is and get in any other information that they want to say in a general sense. Then I will go through a series of questions, and each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question, and then we'll have as long as we need for questions from the audience.
Okay.
Alright. To start off, I'm going to flip a coin to figure out who goes first. So,
Okay.
Tails.
Heads.
Alright, landed on tails. So, Ori, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Alright, in that case,
Alright.
Patrick, you can start.
Alright.
By the way, just one more thing to both the candidates. You cannot cut off the other candidate while they're speaking. You must wait until they're done,
Okay.
Got it.
Got it.
no matter the circumstances. Alright.
Good.
For it.
Alright. Just in case you don't
Let
know.
me just start the timer real quick. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Alright, go.
Alright, just in case you don't know, hi, my name is Pat. I'm going to be running for king. If I was king, I would probably have like the minimum amount of taxes, probably like one daily tax, maybe not every day, like once, maybe 2 a day or something like that. And then unless we are going to war with someone, then I would probably have to put in one other tax, but I don't see having to put that in anytime soon. I'd also limit down the number of or take down unnecessary damn it, what are those called? Fuck. Sorry, hold on a second. The permits, thank you. I'm sorry. The permits. The ones that I don't think would be necessary or there would be a lot of complaint against, I would probably take down. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Alright, you still have 2 more minutes, but if you want to stop,
alright.
if you want to stop, you can just.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Alright.
Alright. I go?
Yeah, let me just reset the timer. Alright, there you go, 3 minutes.
Alright. I'm the Muslim carrot, or Ori, or Yago. You could call me either. I don't care. My policy is I will tax based on income. Like, the more money you make, the higher your taxes will be. And the permits things, unless there is any problem that everyone agrees is a problem, then I will fix it. Basically, I have the same views as Patrick. We are both have very similar views, so it's really a matter of who does it better. And personally, I've been on a medieval server before. I've seen how it's run. I think I have more experience, and I think I will do it better. That's the end of mine, I guess.
You also have 2 minutes left.
Wait. I have 2 minutes left.
So unless you want to.
Can I just say?
Yep.
Ori for king for 2 minutes.
Alright. So are you done, or do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm done.
Alright. Alright, so those were the 2 opening ones. By the way, just both candidates keep unmuted even if you're not actually talking.
Okay,
Alright.
got it.
Alright. Alright, let me pull up my documents. Alright, first off, we're going to start with economics. So, the first question is, what will taxes depend on? Is there going to be a flat tax rate? Is it going to be based on income? Is it going to be based on the amount of land you own? What is tax going to depend on? That's the first question. In your kingdom, what is tax going to depend on? So we'll start with, since we started with Patrick last time. We'll start with Ori this time.
All right. So do I start?
Yep.
All right. So my tax will be based off of income. Basically, the more money you make, the more taxes you will get. We will find out how much money you make. I'm thinking of a system where you record all your sellings in a day or all your trades in a day, and the more money you make, the more taxes you will get per IRL day. That's my. I'm done basically. That's
Do you
it.
have anything else to add to that? The specifics or anything? You
Um,
still have about a minute and 20
All right.
seconds.
Can I talk about buying land?
You, as long as it concerns taxes. Yep.
All right. Buying land. I'll set up a mortgage system where you could not
Okay,
pay.
but does this have to do with taxes?
Kind of.
Well, are you getting taxed on land?
Oh wait, yeah. Never mind.
Okay. All right,
My turn.
Patrick, it's your turn. How will tax be done and maintained? Go.
Okay, so in my kingdom, I would have a flat rate tax, and like Ori said, like I would keep track of how many or of for people's jobs. Depends on how much. So let's say they are a farmer, and then they have a fishing permit, and then they're also earning food off of fishing. Then there might be an increased tax of that because you are getting food or money from an outside source. Like let's say you're selling the fish that you get from fishing to someone else, then there might be another added on tax to what your flat tax would be. Um, and my taxing would not be the same as Ori's. Like there wouldn't be, depends on how much money you make in a day based off of your job, unless you are getting money from an outside source of your main job. Um, and yeah, that would be my taxing situation. Yeah, the
All
taxes.
right. All right. Is that it? You still have about 1 minute left. Do you want to get into specifics, or are you done?
Um, Yeah, oh, okay. Also, there might be a tax for unnecessary land plots. Like, let's say you buy one for your house, then there wouldn't be something like that. But then, or based off of your job, like if you need one for your job, then there won't be like if you want to like buy a farm, then there wouldn't be a tax. But then if you want to buy like 2 extra farms, then there might be a tax for that, like for unnecessary plots of land.
All right. Okay. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Next question, also concerning taxes. Will, what are you? So, are you willing to change the tax rates dependent on how the kingdom is doing? For example, if the kingdom is, if there are a good amount of people poor, would you lower taxes for those people? Would you lower it for everyone? Would you provide assistance? What would you do in a situation where someone is disadvantaged compared to everyone else? Or would you do nothing and let the economy work itself out? Or you can, or no, sorry, Patrick, you can start this time. Go.
Okay. So what I would do is, let's say there's 25% of the people who are poor, then I would probably lower the taxes for the whole kingdom, but not that much, so that they will still like be able to pay it, but they won't be able to go into debt, or they won't go into a serious debt. And then also, like let's say the kingdom goes to war, then I might have to put in a different tax, like so that I could supply the people who are actually going to be fighting against the other people with tools and armor and such.
All right, you still have a minute and a half left. Is that all you want to add?
I believe so, yes.
All right, Ori, it's your turn. Go.
Yes, I will definitely lower the taxes need be. Again, what Patrick said. If we were to go into war, I would maybe raise taxes. Um, but if the kingdom were in a time of great need, I would definitely raise the taxes. Probably not a lot, very little amount, just to get the kingdom back on their feet. And then I would probably make something pretty cool for everybody.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right. All right. Next question. We're still concerning economy. All right. The next question is concerning land ownership. What is the land standard? How big is the land standard? How will land be given out? And anything else concerning plot ownership. All right.
I start.
Go.
All right. So I will. All right. Land will be. Land value will be measured by block. I don't think location matters too much. But so each block is like, let's say, a specific amount of money, and then all that money adds up into the value of the whole house or the whole plot. And basement levels will count, but second floors will not count. Wait, I'm not done.
Okay. You still have 1 minute and 20 seconds.
There will be a mortgage system if you cannot pay out your whole plot in 1 day. Then there will be like over time you could pay little payments or semi reasonable payments for you to have the house and live in it and not pay all in 1 day. Bam.
All right, Patrick, it's your turn to go.
Okay, so like Ori, I would have the plot size by block, and also that would I would say that would include the basement and second floor. But if you wanted to have like a third floor or a secret room, then there would be another tax for that, or you'd have to um, pay more for that if you want to put that in, and then uh, hold on, I just lost my thought. Fuck. All right, hold on a second. Oh yeah, sorry. All right, and then there would be a down payment of however much, and then if you are not able to pay, or there will be an option to put a down payment if you're not able to pay the full thing immediately, and you would probably be given a certain amount of days to pay that, and if you have not paid it, then then you would not be able to get the plot, and that's it.
You still have 1 minute left if you want to add anything.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Next is concerning the economy and the currency. Is there anything that you guys want to add in terms of in terms of just the economy, currency, taxes, land ownership, anything else you guys want to add in terms of the economy? Pat, who started? Patrick, I think, goes now?
Yeah, I'd start.
Yep, all right.
I probably would not add anything else because I do like the idea of signed book and quill as the currency. Unless there is a shortage of the currency or something like that, then we may switch to bartering or something like that for temporarily until we are back in function with the whole circulation of more money into the economy. And that's probably all I'd add.
Oh, there is actually one question about the economy after this, but
Oh, okay.
anyways, Ori, you can go.
All right. So for currency, personally, I would have physical currency, like maybe a sheet of paper named money or.
But wait,
presumably.
just want to say we already did decide the currency would be signed book and quills.
No, but I would also have this, like as a separate thing with the signed thing.
So what does that entail?
So like you have a credit. Like, all right, I was thinking the signed thing would be like a credit card where you would be taxed that amount of money
is
at
that
the
really
end.
The government's job then?
That's more of the bank's job, right?
Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah, I'll have the signed book and quill like everyone else, or like
Okay,
Patrick.
so you both have the same thoughts on that. All right, there is
Yeah.
one more question concerning the economy, and that is, and Ori's going to start first on this. Concerning the economy, would you say that the government should take, for the benefit of the economy, take a more hands-on approach or a more hands-off approach? Meaning that either the government should be doing more to help the people who are disadvantaged and maybe just make more regulations, or take a more hands-off approach and say that the economy will the economy will naturally progress well without government interference. Or you go.
All right. Well, definitely it depends on the situation. Um, I think as a government, I will, or as the king, I will try my best to help the individual in their money problems. Like as I said, I would lower taxes before for anyone who is poor or has less money, and yeah, that's really about it.
All right, now Patrick.
Okay, yeah, so I'm coming at a similar standpoint. Like, I'd say the government would not be as much hands-on unless there is, like, a major of the population that is poor that cannot pay the taxes or something like that. And then there would be, action would need to be taken place, like, the lower of taxes, or if everything is fine, then maybe raising a little bit. But the government would try to have, um, the least amount of contact with the economy as possible, unless there's, like I said, a serious condition or event that happens.
All right. Okay, that is all we have for the economy. Unless someone else at the end wants to ask any questions about that. But for now, we are going to move on to job permits. So, okay, first question concerning job permits: are certain jobs going to get more land than or are certain jobs going to be given land by the government? For example, farmers or something like that, or just any jobs in general. This goes to Patrick, who's starting first.
Okay, so on my standpoint, I would have the normal person, they would buy their house or have their house plot, and then depending on their job, like let's say a farmer, they will have a small plot extra of land, but they would like have to use that for their job. Like they would have to have a little farm set up if they were a farmer. Um, and if they want to expand, they would have to buy extra plots, but they would given a small extra plot, like I'd say probably about 5 to 8 blocks probably. If they were going to be a small farm, then they could get like circulation, but they'd have to like probably be on a lot uh to tend to the crops and everything. And then once they um get enough money, then they could buy an extra plot of land for their a larger farm or for a larger mine, if they were a miner or something like that.
All right, Ori, same question. Go.
Definitely the same thing, but it really depends on the job. Because like, if you're a lumberjack, I'm not gonna give you like an extra plot to chop trees down. But if you were a farmer, like Patrick said, definitely, I'm probably gonna give you a little bit of land for free, and
Is
that's
that right?
really
Okay.
yeah.
All right, now moving on to special permits. What are your guys' policies concerning special permits? Are you going to make any type of special permit? Because currently in the system we have these things called special permits. For example, building permits are special permits, as in they're given out based on the situation. So what is going to happen depending on special permits? All right, Ori, I think goes first now.
Special permits will definitely depend on how much money you're making um, currently, like before you have the special permit. Like to bring back earlier, if there were like a poorer person and they wanted to have like a special permit to like fish and stuff so they could sell their fish in their store or whatever, I would definitely give them that permit. But that does mean if they start making more money, they will be taxed higher.
All right, Patrick.
Okay, so for on my view would be similar to Corey's or Ori's, sorry. Like
Oh, Jesus Christ.
like let's say they are a farmer and they are making a lot of money off of their crops, then they would be taxed some amount if they were going to get a fishing permit. But if it was a building permit, then I would price that on the size of the house or the size of the building that they are going to be building. So let's say if it's a huge mansion or something, then that would be more expensive than shack, not a shack, but like a normal size house. Um, and then for fishing permits, I'd also maybe do that on the time limit. So if you wanted to do 2 hours of fishing, then you could buy like a 2 hour permit or something like that for a lower price than a full day fishing permit. But then also that depends on your job. So let's say you wanted to buy a half day of fishing, but then you're also making a lot of money off of farming, then there would be it would cost you more than compared to someone who's not making a lot of money off of farms and someone who wants to buy a half day of fishing, then it would cost them less because they're making less money.
All right. All right, next question is concerning the special fishing permits. And I've heard this personally from a lot of farmers who are concerned that fishing is going to ruin the farming economy and put a lot of farmers either out of business or in a very bad position. What will you do about this, or how do you feel about this? Patrick, you start.
Okay, so um so let's say the farming industry is doing really good and they're selling a lot of crops, then um and not a lot of people are farming or are fishing, then I would probably sell that at a normal price. But then let's say the farming industry is doing really bad and people are just fishing and selling their fish, then that would probably increase the taxes on or the price for a fishing permit so that it kind of persuades people to actually buy from the farmers instead of the fishers and the buying fishing permits. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Ori.
I was definitely thinking about putting a limit on like the permits. So if you were to get a permit, it would be very temporary. So there wouldn't be like a stable way to open a fish shop and like sell fish. But definitely there will be like fish that you could buy and stuff at points in time. But I will make sure that no one person can benefit off of the fishing and other stuff that can ruin the farming industry.
All right. All right. Next category is ideology and government. So the question is, what way will your government be run, and to what degree of bureaucracy will you be having? Will you have government officials? Will it be entirely run by you? Uh, what is going on here? Because of course there are pros and cons to either of those sides. All right, Ori, go.
All right, so definitely the bank will have a big government presence, but that is only concerning the economy. Otherwise, I think it will maybe be me and my right hand man, who I haven't chosen yet, to help me go and do stuff. And he will definitely have most authority, and there will be knights and such who will have more authority over common folk. And yeah, that's it.
All right, if I may add a question to that, there are, there aren't, I mean, there aren't that many people in this. So how many people are you thinking about actually employing for these things?
Like 3 tops.
All right, Patrick, no.
Actually,
Okay.
4 tops. Sorry, 4 tops. I wasn't counting myself. I was counting myself.
All right, Patrick, go.
Okay. So I would probably have at least me, the king, or the king, not just me, the king, and then probably one other person who's next to the king, like probably would be advise or like would give suggestions to the king or something like that, and then there would be also one lord from each town who would not have as much power as the king, but they would still have like the power. So let's say the king put in a or the daily taxes, then they would go around collecting the taxes and then bringing it to the king. But they are not allowed to reinstate their own taxes, so they are not allowed to put in taxes if they wanted to. So let's say uh, one town thought that they were going to go to war with, or thought we were about to go to war, and then that town they started preparing early for armor and everything. They wouldn't be allowed to do that without getting permission from the king first. So I would say, to recap what I said, the king would have the most power, and then it would have like a couple lords who would have more power than the commoners, but not that much. Like that, they could start their own society.
All right.
May I add on something to that?
No.
All right.
You can add on later when I ask the general governmental question, but for now we need to continue. So, all right, second off, what will you do concerning rebellions or public disagreement with your policies and just general backlash to your authority? And what will you do concerning that? What is your plan to do concerning that? And how it will vary depending on the situation. Origo.
I thought it was Patrick.
Or Patrick, sorry.
It's okay. All right. So, I would say depending on the size of the rebellion, let's say they were, or based off the topic, or their reasoning, their morals. So let's say that they were rebelling for a new leader because they didn't like the leader, the king, and they actually got a lot of support. Then there would be probably, I'd say, they'd put a consequence on those people who joined. So like kind of as a show of force to make sure that there weren't any other uprisings. But then if there was also based off of attacks, then maybe I would take their suggestions and then probably or try to peacefully resolve it instead of where if it was as a ruler or coming to the power of the king, then uh, action would have to be placed, probably resolving in a war or something like that, and then there would be consequences depending on who won or lost.
All right. Ori, it's your turn. Go.
So definitely, if there was a large group of people who want to change, I would definitely hear them out. But it depends how radical they are. If they were threatening my power and my authority, I would definitely send in forces to deal with it. And also, can I say something that's kind of related?
Depends on what it is. I might cut you off. But...
All right. I want my people to have as much of a voice as possible in what
that's
they...
actually the next question. So.
All right, cool.
All right, so the next question is, as you were saying, the next question is concerning kind of the freedom of speech, the freedom of the people. And the question is mostly concerning what would you do if there was a vocal, either person or group of people slandering you or just saying things about you or spreading information about you? I have two questions about this. So, what would you do if someone was kind of perpetuating an idea to go against you, and what would you do? Not necessarily a rebellion, but perpetuating an idea to go against you. And what would you do if someone spreading misinformation about you? All right, Ori, go.
Definitely depending on how serious and they were, but definitely we should take this situation very seriously. But if it were like, let's say, someone saying, "Oh, I'm going to take over the king. My name's Calvin. Look at me." Obviously, I wouldn't really worry about it. But if there was somebody like that, I would definitely want to have a conversation with them, ask them questions, and ask the public what I could do better. And I really want everyone to have as much of a voice in the government as possible.
All right. Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with Ori. I would, depending on the severity of the um, event, I would try to peacefully resolve it by seeing what I could do better or what changes they would like, um, and then take that into thought or action, uh, depending on what it is. But then, if it is as serious as going up against the king, then there would have to be action put in place. Um, yeah, I'm done.
All right. So that's the end of the ideology category. So just to wrap things up, do any of you have anything else to comment about ideology in general? Patrick, yeah.
Uh, no, I'm good.
All right, Ori.
Um, no. Just to recap, I would like very yeah, that I really said everything I need to say, really.
All right. The next category is religion. So, first question in this. Religious tolerance. What is your policies concerning religion? So what is your policies concerning the religion, the formations of religion, and the government tolerance towards them? Ori, go.
I thought it was Patrick.
He was supposed to go last, but none of you actually said anything, so I'm just going the pattern.
All right. So definitely, what I would do, I wouldn't have the government based around religion, but let's say there was a religion that challenged the government's authority or beliefs, then I would definitely try and hear them out and try and see what I could do. But if the religion, like a group of people who all believed in the same thing, tried to come into the government and try and take over the government, I will use force to stop them. But also, let's say there is a religion that is cool and awesome. They could be cool and awesome and do their own thing, and as long as they don't um, physically challenge the government, I think that would be all. We'll all be all right.
All right, Patrick, go.
My ideas are similar to Ori's, where um, the kingdom would not be resolved or of revolved around one or about a religion, but I would probably put in not a lot of religions, but just like probably the majority of what the people would like either one or two, depending on uh, how many people would want a certain religion.
The religion's formed by the people, not by the.
I know, yeah, but I'm saying like, um, you're right, but but what I was trying to say was that I would probably let the religions do whatever they want, except if they were starting a rebellion or starting to uh rebelling against the king or taxes or something like that, like saying, "Hey, this person's bad," and then like just getting everyone's starting to get everyone to agree with them, and then starting chaos. Then there would be action put in place against that religion or against the people, the members who followed it.
All right. All right. The next question is, and I'm okay. So I've heard that. So for someone who is the head of a religion, that's not exactly a very sustainable job necessarily. Um, so, however, should they provide something like a should the religion provide benefits to the kingdom? Will you support religions? And just in general, how will you support religions if you support them at all? Uh, and this is Patrick.
Um, I would if I supported the religion, then um I would probably uh not tax them for certain things or start to help their religion, like either donate some like materials, I have no idea, their currency or something like you would in a normal church. Um, but that was also, like I said, if I agree with what their beliefs are or follow them. Uh, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Just to wrap up, there's the last closing statements
You
about
didn't do me.
religion. Ori, you can. Oh, my bad. Okay, Ori, go. Sorry about that. I thought you.
All
were
right.
first.
So my policy on that is, if a religion, like any religion, all religions deserve the same chance. Um, if a religion is challenging my government, obviously they deserve less of a chance. But if a religion were suitable, then definitely I will give them land. I will maybe fund them, and as long as the religion is, like, let's say the religion starts like a school or something, like that, they will not be funded by the government for that school. They will have to find funds for themselves to fund that school. But let's say there was like maybe an event, maybe like an event that just like to raise awareness for the religion. Definitely the government would love to fund that.
All right. Now closing statements about religion. Ori, go.
Um, any religion is tolerated unless they challenge the government's beliefs. Uh, and that is it, basically.
All right, Patrick, go.
Yeah, I've said all that I've said, or I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Now, the questions are done. Now is for the questions and answers. So, I'm gonna quickly at everyone.
Man, quite a crowd today.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to reiterate here, if one of you guys has a question that goes on for too long or has already been asked by someone else or me, I will cut you off. So I'm going to. So okay, what I want you to do is type in 1 into general chat. Type in 1 if you have a question. Type in the number 1. I'm gonna wait like 10 seconds. All right, no one else has any questions other than Aiden? Maybe you'll think of some. All right, Aiden, I'm unmuting you. Go ask your. You have one question. We're gonna go through a round of people. Then, if you have another question to ask,
I can ask another one later.
yeah, after the first round of questions. So
Great.
here's
I
your
got
first question.
2 questions. This is for both Ori and Pat, one at a time. So let's start with Ori. So this is concerning general experience as king, because as Ori did state earlier on in the debate, Ori has been through a medieval server once before. So in this case, he has more experience, but I would like to point out this is nothing personally against Ori, but just general track record as occasionally a loose cannon, as well as Pat having no experience running a medieval server, being in one. I just would like to know, what are your opinions on that?
My opinion. Wait, can I ask
Ori can go first.
You're asking my opinions on me being a loose cannon. And
What's your
Patrick.
opinion on your track record as being in charge, despite you having more experience? Yes, I'm just curious. Comments on your track record.
I gotta say, that is a very good question, and definitely I will take this much more seriously than other things I may have done. But I do want to say there have been times where I've been serious, and I'm not always 100% a loose cannon.
Oh yeah, I am recognizing that.
Okay. And for Patrick not having experience, I totally agree, and that is something I think we should acknowledge.
And Trick, your
Patrick, you
on
can
this?
respond.
Yeah, so I do admit that I don't have experience, but I feel personally that I wouldn't be running if I didn't think I could be good, if I wouldn't be qualified, or I don't think that I would be running if I didn't think I could do a good job. Um, and I do know that Ori has had other experiences in medieval servers based off of other servers you guys had done. But I'm just asking to give me a chance. If you don't like it, then we will do something about it, and I am also taking feedback.
Alright. Okay, Calvin, you are getting unmuted. Alright.
Okay.
Calvin, your question.
So first thing, Ori,
Yes.
Yeah.
your statement earlier about me.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
I just want to get that clear before
Like,
I ask anything.
Obviously, I will say,
It was
obviously,
a joke
if you were,
because you currently did have my vote at that time.
obviously, if you were
Not a great
rebelling,
look. I'm just
obviously,
saying, are you going to be prosecuting anyone just individually based on things that in the past outside of the server?
outside of the server,
Yeah, from things from the past, are you going to be even like working based off of anything in the past?
I say keep the past in the past unless the past is brought in here. If that doesn't
Okay.
make sense, for example, let's say Joe, your average Joe. He in the past has said he was going to rise up and create a rebellion. As long as that is not a problem now, then definitely I'm probably going to keep tabs on Joe. But if he's not showing any like signs of actually actually forming a rebellion, then I say let Joe go.
Okay. And a question for both of you. One more
We're gonna go around again. So once we get through everyone, then you can ask the second question. So we're cutting
Can
it
I
off.
hear Patrick answer that same question, like past experiences?
Yeah. So Patrick, you can respond to what
Okay,
Calvin
yeah.
said. Although it was mostly directed at Ori, but you can respond.
Yeah, so I kind of had to do something. Like, there were 4 members of this Discord server who there's been rumors of that they were going to start a rebellion, not just against the king, but just like they wanted a total anarchy. And I and other members realized that this wasn't going to work out, so I actually had to ban them because they weren't going to stop unless something had to happen. And I tried to convince them multiple times to stop, but they wouldn't. So I actually had to ban them. But that was also because it did seem very serious, and I wouldn't do anything of that sorts again unless I realized or I seriously thought it was a serious problem and something bad was going to happen. And that's why I did that. But outside those reasons, then I don't think I'd do something like that.
All right. Okay, Will, you have a question. You're getting unmuted. All right, go for it, Will.
All right. I
Damn,
actually
Will's
don't know.
here.
I was not here at the beginning, so if this was already
Yeah, I'll
covered,
cut you off.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was already answered.
And I also don't know the exact how we're doing this, so I'm just cut me off if this isn't an
Yep.
issue. But what are we gonna do about interdimensional like property?
Ooh.
So you're saying like if someone has property in the Nether, for
Yes,
example?
or
Okay,
the ends.
yeah, no, we have not answered that yet. So that is a good question.
Okay.
All right, I'm muting you. Okay, Ori, feel free to respond. Or Patrick, actually, you can
Okay.
respond first because Ori responded first.
Okay, so that's a good question. I don't really see a need to stay in the other dimension. I mean, like, I kind of would in the Nether, but the end, I don't think that's really necessary. And unless there are things happening, like let's say we wanted to start a community there or move to the end, then I would probably, if a lot of people move there, then I would probably uh price on plots, or there would be a tax for that or something like that. But if it was personal, like if it was just one person, then I'd let them go ahead, but as long as it's not taking up a huge amount of area, like if it's probably the normal size of a normal plot in the overworld, then I'd say all right, go ahead. And yeah.
All right, Ori, you can respond. Go.
Definitely, I was thinking of setting up another capital, for like nether highways and stuff, and maybe some people could have their house there or their businesses there for traction. But there will definitely be a higher tax than in the overworld, and in the end, I'd say you should probably get a license if you want to go live in the end, because it's pretty dangerous there. It is pretty dangerous in the nether, but some can argue it is even more dangerous in the end because you could fall in the void and lose all your items. And that's my I'm done.
All right, we're going through the second round of questions now. If anyone has another question, please type in 1 in the chat again. By the way, you can, if you want a follow-up question, you can just type in 1 again. Yeah, there we go. All right, Calvin, you're going first.
Okay. Main thing I want to know about is both your opinions on how much RP compared to survival is there going to be. Are you going to prioritize more on just making everything like work as well as possible, or are you going to try to do more RP kind of stuff that makes it interesting in a different way?
All right, Ori, you can start.
Yeah, definitely. I would have like events, parties, and stuff. I was thinking about building like a main hall where like you could feast with a giant table and stuff, and like definitely we will have festivals and stuff for like with events and games, and there will be like everyone gets a chance to party, and yeah, stuff like that. But also, wait, I'm not done. There will be definitely other RP stuff, as like maybe killing the Ender Dragon. I don't know if you consider that RP or not, but I will be doing something special for that.
All right, Patrick, it's your turn. Go.
Yeah, so I would have both. One of my main focuses is to make sure that the economy does work and that we don't have a crash. Like I've heard stories about the other server where you guys had the economy, there was a huge inflation and then the economy stopped working. But my goal is to
Well,
try to.
if you want to know actually what happened, it wasn't. It was
Oh, I thought
kind of
someone
the
said that there was
opposite,
an inflation or
actually.
something.
No. We were inflating the economy, but that was, we wanted to inflate the economy.
Oh,
It
okay.
didn't end because of the economy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, my main focus is to get the economy to work, but then I am also all for RP aspects like Ori said, festivals, and also uh I would like the architecture of the building, like the kind of like feudal Gothic uh era where there's walls around the property and everything is made out of like stone brick, like the castle is made out of stone brick, and there would be some community events periodically throughout the course of the server.
All right.
Yeah, I'm done.
Next is Aiden. You have another question. Go.
Wow. Oh. Okay. Yo, I'm hitting all the shit today. Alright, so. Will the crown recognize a religious leader as someone with power and someone who is to be respected, and would they support the religion helping out the community?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh wait, no, it's Ori. Ori.
No, it is Patrick.
No,
Oh,
it's
no, it is Patrick. Okay.
yeah.
Patrick.
So, I would recognize the religion as helping out the community, and I would also like if it was helping out the community, then I would be all for that and help out towards that. But if it was based off of the religion leader having more power, I would not give them that much power because then people would just want to start their own religion so that they'll have more power than others. Um, but I would say that they would have some more power in their religion or a limited aspect. But like not too much, so that people don't go starting their own religion, so that they can have more power than other people.
All right, Rory, you can respond.
Alright.
Definitely, I would consider them a great part of the community, but I wouldn't consider there any more power than the community gives them. So basically, I'm not giving them power, but if you choose to follow that religion and respect that person, definitely they will. If I like the religion, they will gain my respect. But if they could gain the respect of their community, then definitely they deserve that respect. And if they could gain power in their community, as long as it's not challenging the government, it is fine by me and encouraged, actually.
If I may kind of branch off that question to both candidates here, when you because you both say the religion's not challenging the government, to what degree is challenging? Because a religion can be for or against a legislation being passed, and you can consider that challenging, but it's not challenging to the degree that a rebellion would be challenging. So, I'd be interested in hearing what you would both say about that. I'll start with Ori now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely challenging would be not necessarily them not agreeing with something, but if there were riots or protesting on if there were riots and like what's it called when someone protests except like that harms if they protest and it harms people, then definitely I will stop that immediately, and I will do everything in my power to move them in a different direction. But if I did have to like shut them down, I will shut them down. And if I'm aware if I do shut them down, a rebellion might start out of that. Uh, that will be dealt with. Trust me.
All right, Patrick, you can go.
Yeah. So as far as challenging the government, I would say, or yeah, I would say like starting a rebellion against the king or um wanting to spread off into a different faction or something like that, then that would be going too far. But if it was just like peaceful protesting, then I'd say okay. But like rioting, like burning down buildings, trying to get the attention of the king, and going up against the king for their spot or for more power in a society where they will have um, more power, uh, then then that would be considered challenging the government, in my opinion.
All right. Okay. Or or you can't ask yourself a question.
No, I don't want to ask myself a question. I want to ask Patrick a question.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
But let Will go
yes,
first.
I'll let that happen. Will, you can go.
Okay. As a follow up, I think one of you, I think it was who went first when I asked my question. Was it Ori or Pat?
I think
Oh,
it
I
was me.
forget.
All right. One of the things I heard was that you guys seem to, well, both of you, but Ori specifically, seem to disregard um, land in other dimensions as not as lucrative, which I would just like to comment. It would isn't really true. The Nether is an amazing place to gather gold, which could be very lucrative, meaning that devaluing the land there could in itself devalue other items that would be considered lucrative in the overworld. It's something that should definitely be looked into because if overlooked, could lead to a crash in certain resources.
May I start?
Yeah, it's more of a comment, but
Pretty
like
sure,
I think you can build
pretty
off
sure
of it.
Patrick starts now.
Yeah. So you brought up a great point. If that would start to happen, then I would, or if more people started to move to the Nether, then I would probably add a tax or um a permit to mining in the Nether. Like if Netherite would be kind of fine because that's the one resource that you can get in the Nether. Like you can't get that anywhere else. But if it was for gold, then like the gold nuggets, then I would probably have a tax or something on that because you can get gold in the normal overworld. Um, and it would be a lot easier just to get into the Nether. But then also you'd have to get enough nuggets to make an ingot. Um, but because it's each nugget is one block, they're pretty common to find. So I would probably have a tax on mining in the Nether for gold or other resources like the certain wood there. It's basically it's the same thing. They're both wood, but just in different colors. Um, and you would probably have the lumberjack role to, uh, or job to do certain things in the Nether.
Okay. Now Ori, it's your turn.
I you may have misunderstood me, but I was saying I would increase land value in the Nether, and definitely if you were a miner in the overworld, you would have to have a special permit to mine in the Nether. Same thing with lumberjack and other people who work in the overworld that could uh, also have a job in the Nether, which I think is most everything right now because the Nether is awesome. But I would also like to add another thing about the Nether. I think this, Harry, can I say something like about a question that was already
I'll
asked?
cut you off if it's
All right.
not good, but yeah.
Like said before, for the roleplay aspect that Calvin asked, the Nether can play a huge part in that. Definitely. I personally had some ideas. I would also like to, if elected king, to hear your guys' ideas of stuff I could do with that. With like bastions and nether fortresses and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Ori, you said you wanted to ask Patrick a question.
Ah, shit, I forgot.
Okay, well that's fine. It was a little unorthodox, anyways. All right, we're going through another round of questions. So if anyone wants to ask. Also, we're gonna start speeding up these questions. So the questioner is only going to have a minute to ask the question, and the responder is only going to have a minute to respond. So.
Yeah, just to let everyone know we're coming up on 58 minutes.
Yep.
58.
So that's why I want to speed it up. All right.
Yeah.
Ready? Go.
All right, I'm gonna cut this short and make it quick. My last question was about the religious leader and the degree to how they would be respected and viewed. Question. Both of your answers were a bit on the fence, and I would just like to make one thing very clear about religions that are being formed. The religion that's being formed is not at all similar to the anarchist cult that was started to overthrow and destabilize the server. That is not a good basis for what religion should be, and I just want you all to realize that and do not hold that against any religions that will come. Comments?
All right. Uh,
Can I
all right,
comment?
Ori, you can go. A minute to respond.
So yeah, definitely. I don't hold their action. I don't hold you accountable for their actions. Um, I was just stating that as if that were to happen, it would not be tolerated and it would be terminated immediately. But I don't want to scare any other religions because as long as you don't physically challenge the government or anything like that, then definitely you're
30 seconds.
free to do whatever you want. Yeah.
All right, Patrick, go.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that I wasn't trying to hold that as like an idea of a religion. I was just trying to say what the result or the action I took against that. If there was a rebellion uprising, I would probably do something like that. If it was that extreme. But I am not trying to scare away people from starting their own religion unless they're trying to just do it to get power. And I'm all for religion as long as you're just not using it for your own personal wealth or to gain power. If you actually just, yeah. Uh, that's all I have to say.
Alright, just to address something though, because I have a question about that then.
Mhm.
You're saying that as long as it's not to gain power, however, is it fair to say that religion can be a reliable source of income, or would that just be seen as someone trying to gain power?
Can I go first?
Yeah, well,
Uh,
that was
was
mostly
it just
directed
towards me?
towards you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would not see as a religion leader as a gain of wealth because it is not, um, in my opinion, it would not be um, a suitable job if it's like if you just want to have a religion leader take up one of those job slots and you would start earning money off of that. I would have a problem with that. I wouldn't um, consider that a job. I would have like a lumberjack or a miner or a blacksmith as a job.
Just to interject really quickly though. I mean, I'm not like saying to make it like as like every other job as a permit. However, I think for a religion to actually do something, it needs a method of income to fund the projects that it wants to do. And it seems like you're against religion having that method of income.
What I'm trying to say is I'm all for the religion getting an income, but just as the religion leader, he's not allowed to get the income. I mean, he is allowed to get the income, but he's not allowed to use it for personal wealth. He's supposed to use it to help the religion. So, like in modern day Catholicism, every Sunday they have people donate some money towards the church, and then they use that money. I wouldn't want the religion leader
Yeah, I
just,
see what you're saying.
yeah.
Just to add one more thing to that, what about for like basic necessities like food, shelter?
If they actually need that and they're actually just only doing the religion leader and they don't have any other job, um
Well, they could have another job, but just not be doing them and be
then
focusing on the religion.
yeah, I mean, like, that's okay to focus on the religion, but I wouldn't want them to use their money from the religion instead of when they could be making money off of their job, unless their job is going through a hard time. Like, let's say there's a
Well, here's what I'm trying to say is like it's hard to focus on both like your job and religion, right?
yeah.
So if someone wants to focus on building up their religion and doing things for the community, shouldn't that be seen because they're contributing to the community, seen as not necessarily like a source of gaining higher status in terms of wealth, but at least like just having general living like food and uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're
shelter.
saying. Yeah, I do see that as how do I explain this? Yeah, I do see where you're saying what you're saying, and I do now that you're explaining it a little bit more, I do agree with that they use some money for the like for their own uh like the what do you call it? The basics of life, like the food, the water, the shelter. Um and they're actually putting the time and effort in uh, to the religion. Like, let's say they're just starting it, or it's going through a hard time, then they're actually like putting effort into it instead of just making an excuse to not do their job. Then yeah, I'd be all right with that.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions? Just type one in chat.
Wait, may I comment on that?
Yeah. If you want to, you can comment on that.
Definitely, I don't think being a religious leader is a valid income. But if you find a way for the people of your community to give you money, then definitely, uh, sure, you could theoretically have a steady course of income. But I would encourage you to get a job, and
Just
if
a backup, I'm assuming you're saying. Like, I guess.
yeah, definitely. Like I would give them like a special permit, like fishing or
Yeah, no, okay. I
stuff
just want
like
to
that.
wrap it up, so that's why I'm just kind of interjecting. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Type 1 in chat. Aiden, you have another question, I think?
Yeah.
Alright,
Gonna do
we're gonna tap it down to 45 seconds to ask the
Yeah,
question.
this is
What
a
is that first
quickie.
question?
This is a real quickie. What are your policies on criminal justice and punishments?
Okay. That's a very good question. Ori, go.
I will definitely put the criminal in front of a unbiased jury to decide their fate, and then or to decide if they are innocent or guilty. And a judge, most likely me or someone very close to me, will decide their punishment.
Okay. And I think part of the question, and that I like, okay, you know what, I'll let Patrick go, and then I'll ask both of you.
Okay. So it kind of depends on what they were doing. So let's say they started a rebellion and it actually caused a lot of damage, then yes, there would be some sort of jury, like Ori was saying that there would be some sort of jury to decide their fate. But if it destroyed like two towns or something in a huge war or a huge rebellion, then there would be a serious consequence. Like there would be um they'd probably be, I wouldn't say outcasted, but like they'd be there would be a consequence compared to the other people who didn't have much say or anything, or who were affected by that. There would be, they'd either have to like pay a serious tax, or they would lose a bunch of their stuff, but there would be definitely a huge consequence if depending on the action.
All right, just to kind of expand on that question, because I found it very interesting. And I just realized that you went a little over time, but whatever. So what are the actual punishments that you're thinking of going to be? Like, let's say someone burned someone else's house down. Not the entire village, just one other specific person's house. And that's a crime, obviously. So what would the repercussions for that be? Patrick, go.
Okay, so if it was a small skirmish between one person and another, then I would kind of have the other person get have a little suggestion towards what they would like, but nothing too chaotic or nothing too serious. Like let's say they burnt down their house, then maybe the other person wanted to take some of their stuff, like not a whole bunch or nothing too valuable, but something that would hurt them. Then I'd be okay with that, and I'd probably consider that as a consequence.
Like compensation.
Yeah, like they took something from them, they take something back.
All right. Ori?
I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking specifically eye for an eye, but I was thinking of something else. Like, let's say someone burned down someone's house. I would definitely, if they were found guilty by the jury, then I would probably tax them on their house, or like raise their taxes and stuff as a consequence. And if the problem proceeds, then I will find a way to trap them inside jail.
I think that's okay. So I do want to bring up this point to you specifically, Ori.
Mhm.
Jail, I don't think is really an option in this scenario because you can just break through everything. So what are you gonna do?
All right.
Or either to replace a system like that, or just in that topic. Just 30 seconds for that one.
Definitely, if something would be that disaster, or that's not a word. If something were to be that severe where I would have to do that, then an alternative might be to just like kick them from the server or something, or if they're being a nuisance and everyone
Well, I don't think
agrees.
kicking from the server is really an option because that's when you break server rules, but not in-game rules. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So, definitely, I would find a way to definitely, I would keep a guard there to watch over them.
I agree.
Mom, go away. Seriously, go away.
And you asked.
No, but seriously, you have to go away. I'm in the middle of something right now. I'll be out in a second. All right. So definitely, I would have a guard there,
Oops.
and there will be an extra job to
Sorry.
better impact the economy, and they will be watched
Okay,
over.
I have one question about the guard. Someone can
Mhm.
just go on when everyone else is offline and leave. So I really don't think that prisons are like an efficient way of doing anything.
Well, that's I hate to say that, but that is your opinion, and
That's true, but just how would you address something like that?
if someone were to break out, all right, okay, so if prisons were to fail, then I would find other means like taxing them harder and maybe taking away their house or something like that. If someone were to burn down another person's house, I would maybe take away their land or take away some of their land. But yeah, that's really it.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any other questions, or are we done? Just type one in chat if you do. I'll give it about 30 seconds to wait, or I'll give it 10 seconds to wait. All right. That's the end of the debates.
Wait, did Patrick comment on his consequences or?
Yeah, he did.
I did, yeah.
Okay, sorry,
It's
So-
forgot.
it's okay, yeah. But just not
That's
on the prison
everything.
part.
That's everything addressed. Their voting will be in a Google form. All voting will be completely anonymous, so you don't have to worry about that. However, everyone will, of course, only be able to vote once.
Will the kings be able to vote,
Yes,
or
the
the
kings will
candidates be able to vote?
The candidates will be able to vote.
All right.
They'll obviously just vote for themselves, but it doesn't really matter. It'll just cancel itself out. So the votes will be posted later tonight. I'm not posting them immediately after this. They will be posted later tonight in the news text channel. I'll add everyone.
Okay.
That's where it's going to be. So you can end the recording now. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us, everyone that's actually here.